Hello, I'm Monsignor Charles Minor. Welcome to this edition of Reel to Reel. It's always good to come to you with the many ideas and expressions we can get for you on Reel to Reel.
And hello, I'm Sean Hughes Camp, and we're glad you're starting your summer with Reel to Reel. You know, Monsignor, television is interesting because it can give you a sampling of a wide variety of things.
For instance, how's this for a sample? Tonight we do Hebrew and Spanish.
In our first story, we'll tell you why a Hebrew word has a special meaning for these Catholic school children. And we'll go to Mexico to show you how these school children are overcoming many disadvantages.
In the short subjects, Liz Andre reviews a children's book that is popular with adults. And you'll meet a priest who is a recovered alcoholic himself and now helps others to deal with the same problems.
One of the most frightening aspects of growing up today is the use of drugs and alcohol among young people. For several years now, an organization with an unusual name has been working quietly in our local schools to combat this problem.
Do this awfully well. Have you practiced?
No.
It's almost like the sea, isn't it?
Okay, that's it. That's it.
A child drinking champagne.
Why don't we find some real food like some roast beef? Dig it.
Adults smoking marijuana.
He's plastered. If I were truly plastered, could I do this?
A washed-up actor turned alcoholic. For the average theater-goer, these scenes are cute, funny, and even romantic. Society has always romanticized the use of drugs and alcohol as a means of celebration and an escape from life's daily pressures. But stop for a moment and think. How do scenes like these affect a teenager's attitude towards drugs and alcohol? Why, for that matter, should we worry?
Because our children are becoming much more sophisticated at an earlier age. They're dating earlier. They're having imitation adult lives at a much younger age, and they're not ready for it.
Sister Madeline Boyd is the director and founder of Shalom Incorporated, a drug and alcohol prevention and intervention program operating in high schools and elementary schools in the Philadelphia area.
They could easily become intoxicated, feel good about themselves, feel more readily socially accepted, etc., through the use of these chemicals. Therefore, in facing this drug culture, this drug problem, we had to give some alternative lifestyles and some skills that would enable our youth to adopt new lifestyles with a very healthy rationale behind it.
And since 1973, Shalom has been providing teens with healthy alternative lifestyles. In 10 years, Shalom has grown from a staff of 1 to a staff of 42 and is operating counseling services in 12 Catholic high schools and 22 grade schools. But we have to ask, why name a Catholic organization Shalom?
Shalom is the Hebrew word that really means, peace I give you, everything good within me I extend to you, and I wish you everything in your life that is good in return. Where else can you find a more perfect, more beautiful word?
Here at Bishop Shanahan High School in Westchester, the word shalom can be the difference between a student learning to communicate or learning to shut himself out.
How you doing? I can't believe we're going to meet today, this crazy schedule. Hi, Len. Maureen. Hi, Maribel.
What we do is offer a variety of experiences for students to better participate in every aspect of their lives, including school, including their academics, their social lives, their family life,
Bill Keene is the Shalom counselor at Shanahan High.
Well, a lot of the kinds of problems that people bring to me center around communication. They might be having a conflict with their girlfriend, or with a certain group of friends that they hang around with, and they really don't know how to resolve it or how to get out of it.
Hey, hey, hey. How's everybody today?
Great.
I shaved today.
I was impressed.
And this is kind of a place where they can brainstorm, where they can feel awkward but still feel okay, where they can play different roles, and they learn how to maturely handle a situation. And I just really provide a place for them to freely do that. And if they choose to take advantage of that opportunity, then it becomes real positive for them. How were you able to how'd you make that decision?
I stopped and thought about it. I thought, well, why would I go there? That's all they're going there for, is to drink. Because everyone there got messed up some way or another. Just about everyone.
Gina doesn't even remember the next day.
And a lot of people, I'd rather, that's not my idea of fun, going to a party and not being able to remember what happened.
There's a lot of flexibility provided by the school administration and the faculty for me to, quote, do my thing.
Bill meets regularly with the principal of Shanahan High School, Dr. Ronald Valenti, to discuss Shalom's progress.
That is really what makes Shalom really successful, if it is. The fact that it's not this kind of isolated service that's off in its little cubbyhole doing its thing, but it's really a vibrant, alive part of the school. And Shanahan is a great place for that, because it really provides the support and the participation for Shalom to really work.
For Shalom, the importance of building a healthy adolescence does not end when the school day is over. The work must continue in the home, where parents play the most important role in shaping and molding young adults.
Many times what's happening is the whole family picture is breaking down during adolescence. And to get that back together and to get some support for the kids is real important.
Pat Mansman is a Shalom representative at East Senior High School in Westchester. Her Shalom program includes a workshop for parents entitled How to Parent Teenagers and Survive.
The most single piece of help I could give parents is to have them realize the importance of consistency. Consistency in, number one, their support. Because the kid does something wrong, that doesn't mean they're bad. It's just that maybe I don't like what they've just done, their behavior. Consistency in how they deal with the kid on a discipline level. Many teenagers don't have any rules at all. And it's just because parents aren't sure what is appropriate for teenagers. To help the parents cope with that and deal with the problems and not freak out and not think that they have bad kids is, I feel, real important. Being able to say, yeah, okay, maybe I don't like that behavior, but yes, I still like you and I still love you. And I think that's real important for teenagers.
Building healthy behavior patterns is not restricted to the teen years. At Immaculate Conception Elementary School in Germantown, children from grades 1 through 8 are being taught lessons in self-concept, decision-making, and coping skills by Shalom teacher trainee Wanda Primus.
Someone mentioned we don't put medicine in our mouth. If you need to take medicine, who gives it to you? Sarah. All right, your mom.
Prevention means that we are building so that hopefully in the future fewer young people will need intervention. Into today's lesson, which was not only an example of someone putting things in their mouth that they shouldn't, but also how do you cope with the situation once you've created it for yourself?
Please, do you know some kind of a pill that I could take to make my tail grow? Are working just
These skills start when we're very young. And if they don't, we see the results of children in junior high that are incapable of making decisions, that haven't clarified values, that are not able to really take a look in the mirror and say, I really like what I see.
And she didn't stop eating, young Gertrude McFuzz, till she'd eaten 3 dozen. That's all there was.
This is not just a youth problem, but this is a human problem. It's very complex. There are no ready solutions. Each case is different. But if we set up a program of training whereby the child can use these skills to his advantage, then we have taken step number 1.
After 10 years of work and still going strong, we wish Shalom continued success. Coming up next in the Arts Review, Liz Andre will review a popular children's book that's not just for kids, and in People and Places, we'll meet a priest who is a recovered alcoholic who helps other people to deal with that problem. Stay with us.
How do you explain death to a small child? It's something all kids are confronted with sooner or later, whether it is the passing away of a grandparent or the death of a favorite family pet. Hi, I'm Liz Andre. This week on Arts Review, we'll take a look at a book called The Fall of Freddie the Leaf. Death is a difficult emotional topic, even for adults to talk about. Children's questions are often painfully blunt for grieving parents, and the answers they receive may be too complicated or abstract to understand. Professor Leo Buscaglia, author of Freddie the Leaf, has gained national recognition for his expertise in helping people cope with life. In The Fall of Freddie the Leaf, Dr. Buscaglia sensitively deals with that part of life we must all face, death. Children are not talked down to in the book, and no attempt is made to dodge the hard questions about mortality. The author answers them in a straightforward, simple style which is easily understood. The cycle of life, death, and renewal through the 4 seasons. Freddie the Leaf verbalizes our own fear of death as the autumn of his life sets in. He sees his fellow leaves begin to age, each in a different way, turning a different color. Parents will find it a good starting point for discussing the various ways in which people and pets are affected by age. Next, Freddie experiences the loss of his close friends as the other leaves begin to fall from the tree. Death is the time for leaves to change their homes. The last words of Freddie's best friend Daniel are, "Goodbye for now." That is the inspiring theme of the book. Death is a change more than an end, another season prior to renewal. As Freddie himself falls from the tree, he sees for the first time a view which is wider than his small private world. He begins to realize how he fits into the greater scheme of creation, and there is an exciting new beginning in store. Those same principles drawn from nature apply to human beings as well. The story serves as good groundwork for children too young to understand more advanced religious teachings about new life after death. The Fall of Freddie the Leaf by Leo Buscaglia is recommended for parents and people of all ages for its simple and soothing poetic beauty. I'm Liz Andre, and that's this week's Arts Review.
Take me out to the ballgame, take me out to the ground, buy me something that's in Cracker Jacks, I don't care if I am.
I'm a recovered alcoholic and a graduate of Guest House. I'm 17 and, well, it's about 17 years and 3 months.
Father Von Quinn, an oblate of Mary Immaculate from Ottawa, Canada, achieved sobriety with the help of Guest House, a treatment center for Catholic clergy. Mr. Ripley, the founder of this organization, asked Father Quinn if he would check on a community of alcoholics in downtown Detroit and report on their fight towards sobriety.
I remember that night vividly. I walked into the building. It was October the 7th, 1967, and there were about 6 guys screaming at the World Series at the television set, and there was no television set, and a couple of other guys were watching pink polka-dotted alligators and turkeys with straw hats, and another fellow was in full-blown DTs. There were about 20 to 25 men in the building at that time, just trying to make a go of it. They had actually just taken over the building, and well, that's 15 full years ago. Working on our 16th year, that's 20,000 alcoholics ago.
Father Quinn transformed this ramshackle shelter into a 120-bed treatment facility called Sacred Heart Rehabilitation Center, located in Detroit. The center treats alcoholics from all walks of life. When patients first come in, they very seldom laugh, dance, sing, or socialize. But at Sacred Heart, patients must get involved, not only in individual and group therapy, but also in tennis, golf, singing, dancing, and of course, the parades.
We just go downtown and raise Cain. You know, if everybody's kind of in the blues at night and they finish their AA meeting, I'll just say, let's grab a fire truck and we'll go down to Greektown and we'll just stop along the side of the road and we'll start a sing-song and we'll have a street dance going within 20 minutes. We got everybody clapping their hands and we got the guitars going and we got that type of thing, and that's really, really therapeutic because, the residents will come to me. One came to me last time and said, look, if this is what stopping to drink is all about, I just don't care if I ever see another drink.
Before the fun begins, all patients must go through the detoxification program. Once they are on their way to sobriety, they move 50 miles away to another facility in Memphis. Here, surrounded by beauty and tranquility, they continue their therapy.
Denial is the hallmark for any alcoholic. Denial is the hallmark. And if I have one message to the world, it's, do not let the person continue to progress in this insidious illness. And the very sad part is that every alcoholic, man or woman, is bringing about 4 people along with him. And so what we have to do is positive intervention.
It is this positive intervention that helps patients improve their sense of self-worth while having fun at the same time. These qualities have made Sacred Heart one of the most successful rehabilitation centers in America. With his continued hard work, someday Father Quinn's vision will be complete, that of changing society's outcast into contributing citizens.
With your help, Lord, I can reach my goals today. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Physically, there is very little that separates the United States from Mexico, but in other ways, we are years apart. One of those ways is education. But there is a program that is trying to bridge that gap, and we have that story for you now from Mexico.
Their day begins at 5 a.m. Following morning chores and breakfast, they board the bus for an hour-long trip to Sacred Heart Parish School in Prescott, Arizona. Here they face one of the toughest challenges of their lives. All 18 of these youngsters are orphans from Mexico, and none speak English.
I I think my feelings have changed a lot since the beginning. When I first heard we were having 3 Mexican students in my classroom and me not speaking a word of Spanish, and I was just wondering how I would be able to teach them when I didn't know a single word of Spanish. But I soon found out that the only thing that I needed to show them was how much I really cared about them.
Second grade teacher Wanda Fink says the presence of the new students has a positive effect on the others.
It made the other kids feel that they're really able to help and live out their, we've always talking about sharing, you know, and never before have, I think, kids really known the meaning of sharing something. And these kids have just shared everything, and I think that they've given a lot in that respect.
The Mexican children are part of the Arizona Educational and Cultural Program. The goals are simple: to provide students with a working knowledge of the English language and to familiarize them with the culture and customs of the United States. But the long-term lessons and values learned from this program are proving to be much more valuable.
All right. With your help, Lord, I can reach my goals today. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
The project was started by Father William Wasson, who for nearly 3 decades has cared for orphaned and abandoned children in Mexico and Central America. These 8 through 11-year-olds are just some of the nearly 6,000 orphans who have passed through his Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos program, which in English means our little brothers and sisters.
We try to provide a home for the children. You see, our requirements for receiving a child are 3 basic requirements. First of all, their mother has to be dead, and their father either dead or gone. And the second requirement is that the whole family comes at the same time without exception. And the third requirement is they be in dire poverty. So fulfilling all 3 of those requirements, we take the whole family at one time.
With the success of NPH, Father Wasson had long dreamed of bringing a select group to study in the U.S. He strongly felt younger students could be taught English easily and would retain the knowledge in their adult years.
My mother passed away about 4 months ago, and I had felt for several years since they had left this property to me in their estate that it should be filled with children and not just be sitting here idle.
When his conversations with Sacred Heart administrators resulted in an offer of 18 scholarships for elementary children, he knew his prayers had been answered. So with a home and funding for education, Father Wasson quickly went to work. He legally adopted the 18 youngsters and brought them to his hometown of Yarnell, Arizona. His aim is to give them the opportunity to study here for a period of 3 years, not to make them citizens of the U.S.
I'm not opposed to that concept, but I think it'd be very nice if children could learn a second language, which is extremely important to them, before they become of age of wanting to stay there. So hopefully with these children here 2 or 3 years, they can go back to their own country, finish their studies there, and then become very involved in their own country and remain there. I'm really hoping to give these children a sense of security all of the time that they're with us, whether it be in Mexico or whether it be here at Yarnell. I would like them to feel secure.
But life here in the United States is far from luxurious. In addition to the stringent academic requirements, each child is required to do his or her share of the household chores. Their life in Yarnell is quiet and structured. When Father Wasson is away in Mexico, supervision is provided by adult students.
We teach them how to do it, and after we leave them to do it by themselves, so they will learn how to do. And I guess this is a big point for them because they take responsibility and they know that they have to do it. And I guess that's what they are gaining more maturity by themselves.
See? Which number would you think is the one that would fit in here?
3.
3.
The changes that I notice that come about among our children is the fact that they become more secure, they're more secure of themselves, of what they can do and what they can become about their future. Very often when they come, they're completely destroyed. They've seen their mother die, they've seen their father wander away or be married again and have other children. They've seen the loss of their little house, of their future of an education. They feel completely destroyed, and when they come to us, they look destroyed. And it takes quite a few months for them to lift up their eyes and start feeling that they too can be somebody.
Their lives are also enriched by the daily religious services conducted at the shrine of St. Joseph, adjacent to their Yarnell home. With the shrine as a natural backdrop, they worship together as a family.
While they're living here in Arizona, this has become like a home to them. And at the shrine, we have their prayers. I have Mass for them once a week when I'm here. We're arranging for another priest perhaps to be able to come and have Mass at the shrine. It's very important in their life, their prayer life. Being able to go to a parochial school, being able to know a nun is very difficult. Most poor children in the third world perhaps never see a priest or a nun. And that becomes a great thing in their lives to be able to have that contact, to learn their prayers, learn some of the church etiquette that they need to know. But above all, it's very important that they become sharing, that they can share with one another as they're growing and learning another culture.
Through Christian love, the children are led to understand and appreciate the principles of work, sharing, and responsibility. Their lives have been spared the abject poverty and despair that at one time seemed to be their destiny. Even while at play, the children seem to grasp the meaning of sharing.
Show me your smile. Let it dance for a while. On your face, what a place for a smile to be. On your face, on your face. Show me your frown. Make it sad like a clown. When you're down, you can frown. It's okay with me.
Only time will tell how effective this special educational and cultural project will be. Yet the program holds the rich promise of giving Mexican orphaned children invaluable language and cultural skills that will enhance their later working lives. In the meantime, these children are leading a happy, healthy life, due in large part to Father William Wasson.
He has helped us a lot because he encouraged us a lot to continue in our life and trying to get something for ourselves.
They are a very special part of my life, and I've often thought of that. Perhaps that's what keeps me from being a lonely, cynical old man is having a family. I think that so nothing like children to keep you young and keep you worried and keep you happy.
You know, Monsignor, after watching that last piece, it occurs to me to ask what happens to the children once they return to Mexico.
They surely did thrive on the whole educational process. It will be an interesting thing for us on Reel to Reel to pursue that and possibly discover another story behind that one.
Join us next time for Reel to Reel when we present our video history of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. We'll also travel to New England to learn how the making of a boat can be a spiritually rewarding experience.
Join us for all that and more next week on Reel to Reel. Good night and God bless you.
Thanks for being with us. Enjoy your week.